Hello, 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 everyone. We're going to have a very interesting topic today. Hello, hello, hello. I know it's been a while. Hello, who is am I looking at? I'm putting my eyes on right now. Let's see. Divine XY21. Hello, Angel. Hello, Divine. Hello, hello. Welcome, 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 welcome. We're going to have an interesting topic today. We've covered a lot of things over there for next month. I've been busy with that. No, I have not been here. Hello, hello. Welcome, 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 TikTok family. Welcome, YouTube family. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. I've been so busy working on Hoodoo month, working on materials for Hoodoo month. Hello, Yellow. We're going to have a really, really interesting and exciting Hoodoo month over there. I'm so excited about Hoodoo Heritage Month. So I've been really putting in some interesting topics over there. We're getting ready to dive deeper into Hoodoo and understanding air magic, understanding water magic, understanding magic and earth magic. So we're really looking at all those elements in Hoodoo and breaking things down and then bringing it back together and then looking at some of the icons in Hoodoo, such as Aunt Caroline Dye, uh, Neil Hurston, um, Zora Hurston, um, who else? Bishop Mason, just a few of the icons there. So we're going to be recognizing them over there on our platform. It's going to be very interesting. I think you should really get over there because, again, we're breaking Hoodoo down again and bringing it all back together, giving you some powerful resources to get your practice going and be rooted in it and have confidence in it. And I'm just so excited about it. I have so many hopes, and I just see you guys being very, very um, strong in your work. So I'm just very excited about that. And today, a few days ago, I'm bringing it up. We had a meeting, and it was on inner child. We were dealing with our inner child, looking at those emotions that some of us have. And it's so important in Hoodoo to do that kind of work because so often, beloved, I know it was my disposition. We get over here and we try to pick up magic, and we have all these wounds and blocks we didn't know we had. And it can look self defeating at first, okay. But when we start to heal ourselves using Hoodoo to heal ourselves, it transforms us. And inner child work is so important. Healing and restoration are the core of the spiritual practices of root work, ancestors, veneration, conjure. All are the pathways to balance and transformation. So when you start doing the inner child work, you're looking at the most inner parts of yourself. And this work is hard. If you're over there in the Know Thyself membership, let me say this, beloved. We show up for ourselves and begin to program our subconscious that we're going to show up for magic, that we're going to show up for the inner child, we're going to be there. So when you don't show up for a meeting and you don't put in the work, you're not, absolutely not uh hurting me, you're hurting yourself, you're abandoning yourself. And you got to ask yourself, why are you doing that? Why are you abandoning yourself? That's so important. That's so important. So you can't fool these spirits because they see right through you. They want you to do the work because that's the soul work. That's the real work you need to do to get over to the other side into your magic and find your divine child within you. That's what this is all about. Okay? Because when you approach magic, that is the mind you need to have. Somebody took your magic as a child. You forgot that that little child is still in there. So that's very important, digging into that when we start looking at the blocks that we have, and all too often they do stem back to childhood. Many practitioners overlook a vital part of their own journey, the healing of the inner child. The inner child represents the earliest parts of ourselves, carrying memories, innocence, wonder, but also pain and neglect. Tending to the inner child is not only emotional, it is a sacred work. And I think people kind of miss that on their journey, on our platform, and that's my mission to make sure you understand Hoodoo and you have all the resources there uh to tap into your magic, to go to your innermost being, because the deeper you get with yourself and know yourself, the stronger your magic gonna be, baby. The stronger your magic gonna be when you know yourself inside and out. Okay, that's the transformation right there. That's transmutation right there. That's the alchemy right there. The spiritual alchemy starts with you. And then when you start reaching for those spiritual baths, baby, you get something popping, calling on your ancestors. Okay, changing the code in your DNA, changing your mind. Yeah, you can do those baths and everything, but they ain't gonna do no good if you ain't trying to get your mind right with it. Cause it's a psycho spiritual component. They all work together. It ain't gonna do you no good to reach for that if your mind ain't together. It's got to be ready and programmed for the switch, because it's not used to healing. I know this is a part of Hoodoo, people don't. It's not popular to talk about, but at some point when you reach a block and you get heavy and stuff is on you, disuse is the problem. Okay? And so getting into your inner child work, get doing the shadow work, because this is the shadow work. Okay? All right, so communicating with your ancestors. Unresolved childhoods can create blockages that make it difficult to connect fully with one's lineage. So if you got blockages like that, then when you get ready to talk to the elevated ancestors, uh, you're not going to be able to reach that frequency, because you got all these repeating negative thoughts. I can't do it. I'm not good enough. They're better than me. You're gonna have all that stuff in there. We can declare that all the way out, because you a divine child. Okay, your ancestors love you. So we have to again get your mind programmed to be able to communicate and trust the communication. I just got to talking with the lovely member over there, and she said, Miss Penny, she started smelling and tasting ancestor what the ancestors wanted her to fix for them. She said, Miss Penny, I thought I was making it up. No, you are not making it up. We just thoroughly broke down spiritual communication over there so you can understand where your ancestors is communicating with you, whatever method that you choose that you're comfortable with. But you got to be open to that, opening your mind to that. We just broke all that down, beloved. You can do it. Okay. And I just dropped, one thing over there. Hey, Tina. One thing over there is again affirming to you that you have the power. No one is more superior to you. You can't talk to your ancestors. You have to be willing. Okay. By healing the inner child, practitioners become again a clear way for their ancestors to speak with them. Okay, no more internal resistance, because you're resisting this every time you have this doubt and stuff in your head. You think you're making stuff up, you're not centered. And one of the things I recognize too is some of our nervous system is shot to hell. We don't know how to sit down. We used to picking stuff up, doing stuff, looking at stuff. And I also got that experience when my internet was down. My internet was down for a couple of days. Well, it's down for a day or so. And I just could not help for, not doing something. I had to do something when I wasn't working, because I'm usually working all the time. I'm really pouring, thinking about the community over there, what we really need, what is really going to help us and ground us on our practice. Hi, I am she. Hello, Mary Smith. Hello, Joanne Gilbert. Hello, Yvette. Hello, Tina Cole. Hello, YouTube family. Hello, TikTok family. We're diving deep here today. We're talking about the inner child work, and I'm just looking at my notes here as I go through here so I can stay on topic here. But again, we, you know, we have all the resources over there for you to become the practitioner that you seek to be. Okay. If you don't want to be a practitioner over there, if you're not a practitioner and understand your practice, it's because you're not using any of the materials over there. I promise you that. Because I try to be as thorough, following the guidance of the ancestors. I try to be very thorough the way I break things down, the way they break it down to me, I break it down to you. It's just impossible for you not to be tapping into your magic. It's just going to be impossible. Okay? Because it's too many resources over there for you not to be tapping into your magic. In the way we break it all down, give it to you in the whole scope, and then break it back down. Now we're going right into hoodoo. Now that we understand the science of it, now we're going into hoodoo, breaking it down and showing you what it's all about. Okay, we've showed you all the elements, where it came from, how it was among African diaspora. We showed you all of that. And now we're breaking it down again, because the intentions with me, uh, the way the ancestors have moved in me, it is imperative that you understand, we gain a full understanding of our power and the magic that they left us. Okay? That is so important. And I know a lot of people don't like doing this kind of work. They like the fancy part of hoodoo. They want to pick up candles and all that. And honey, until you use that to fix your life and heal yourself, honey, it ain't gonna do you no good. Okay? It ain't gonna do you no good. I promise, because these spirits see you. You cannot trick a spirit. You can't get over here and think, oh, I'm gonna pay for the class or the course or the membership, and I'm not gonna go to any of the workshops. Those spirits see you. You're not fooling me. You are abandoning yourself, not showing up for yourself, and proving to your magic, to yourself, that you are not serious about what your intentions are. That's all you're doing. You're not, so when you don't show up, you're not showing up for yourself, you're not showing up for your magic. How important it is for you. How important is hoodoo to you? How important to heal is healing to you? How important to see transformation in your life is important to you? It was important to me, because I was showing up to every meeting. I was reaching for hoodoo. I was reading everything I could. I was trying to fix myself, fix my life. And for a lot of us practitioners that been in this for a long time, that's why we reached for it. We didn't have no whole bunch of money to go see no fancy doctors and all that. But what we did have is our spiritual power, the right to transform our souls and our spirits. And that's what a lot of us start doing. And that's how magic changed a lot of our lives. It is work over here in hoodoo. It is not easy at all. It's not just lighting a candle or making a jar. No, 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 no. Okay? These spirits, your mind, you got blocks and stuff. You're not going to make it far. You're going to have to conjure with a spirit. I don't care what they talk about. Them herb spirits, those oil spirits, that candle spirit. Spirit, you just can't get away from it over here in hoodoo. That tree spirit. See, we breaking that all down for you. So you can't break it down. You can't uh dismiss that you're gonna be working with the spirits, and them spirits sitting up there watching you. They see you. Everything is consciousness. This is why it's important to get our mind right. Okay? We can start understanding elevated guidance from our ancestors. This strengthens our rituals, our offering, our dream work, and making the practitioner a clear vessel for spiritual communication. You want to be clear. You say you want communication from your ancestors. You say you want a clear guidance. Okay? Do the inner child work. I know you want to do something fancy, but again, if you start using this to shift your consciousness and get into your magic, it is going to be strong. I assure you of that. No lies here, because those spirits see you. I had a beautiful session with my ancestors last night, and it was a beautiful healing session with the things I had going on with me, and I cried. I don't think I could have made that breakthrough without that connection and openness and vulnerability with them. And so again, it transforms you and helps you heal so many wounds, especially when you're doing the work with ancestors, with elevated ancestors. You make the shifts and transformations much faster. This is spiritual alchemy. How can you transmute or really understand your magic if you have all these negative thoughts and wounds and patterns repeating in your mind like that. You're not going to be able to do that. I would love to come here and show you fancy spells and say that's all it is. No, it's not. That is, I would love to feed into your ego, but I cannot. I cannot, beloved. I can't feed into your ego. I'll be telling you a lie and tell you that you don't have to do no work and get better over here when you get up. Any magic that you get in, your mind have to be right. You ought to see the occult books and things we have to go over where these people definitely had to get their mind together to be able to tap into these higher frequencies. You got to see your Christ self, your divine child, the true you, when you stand up in front of that altar, your ancestors standing with you. You got to know that you did the work. When you're doing this kind of work, yeah, it feels like an initiation. It really does. Because you are tested and you are moved to do the work. Okay. And at some point, you're going to have to communicate with a spirit. That's what you're doing here. I see, we just dropped a lecture on spiritual communication over there. I mean, just a variety of lectures on spiritual communication, talking to the dead, venerating ancestors, how to communicate with ancestors. I mean, so many, a variety of different resources, different lectures on talking to ancestors. Everyone said they wanted there said they wanted to, hey, talk about ancestors. And then when I talked about spiritual communication, no one chimed in, no one engaged. So I'm very perplexed by that. I'm very perplexed that people want to do ancestral veneration, and then we talk about spiritual communication and mediumship with your ancestors. Crickets, crickets. But this is part of the work. This is the work that we do over here. Okay, beloved? This is the work. And we have to remember that a lot of the wounds that we have come from generational trauma. Okay? And doing the inner child work is deepening only the shadow work. It's in the shadow work. So once you start looking at the shadow work, you're faced with that inner child. Looking at yourself, what influences your thoughts, your actions, and your energy. Okay, the inner child is often rooted into the shadow work. It's there because when you start going through your psychogenealogy and looking at where you got these patterns is and these false beliefs set, they're probably gonna usually they lead back to your family. Okay, by tending to your child within, you integrate your lost and rejected wounded parts of yourself. The integration leads to greater authenticity in spiritual practices and removes emotional blockages that weaken rituals and spell work. Okay. Welcome, TikTok family. Welcome, YouTube family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I know this is a hard topic. I know what you're used to seeing, used to people coming up here and showing you stuff. But then I have to ask you this: what do you do when you don't work, when it doesn't work? What do you do? What do you do? You just do it over. Okay. What do you do when you're faced with yourself? Because this is spiritual self care. You will hear me say that all the time over there. Take care of yourself, love on yourself, build yourself up. You hear me say, I'm not just saying that. It's required, it's mandatory to love you, it's mandatory to take care of you. You're the vessel that everything is flowing through. You are the key and the element to your magic. You are the bridge to the ancestors. So taking care of your mind, taking care of your spirit is going to be essential. Okay? I'm not just baby, I can't just give you no spell and stuff and not give you proper guidance with the baby. It ain't going to help you at all. I'm telling you that. I know you don't want to hear that, but I have to come in here and say it to you like that, baby. It ain't going to help you. Okay? If you don't fully understand how to use it and how our ancestors use this. Ain't gonna help you at all. Me come here and give you no fancy spells and tell you to do this or that, and your mind ain't right. And that's where it all begins at. You missing the full component uh of the work, your mind and emotions. And if you carry any heaviness or anything in you like that, it ain't gonna move and shake. And sometimes it take a minute to get the heaviness off of us, depending on what then happened to us in our life. And it's not your fault. I'm not saying it's your fault, but it is your responsibility to heal it, beloved. Hoodoo is healing. You want to be rooted in your practice. You want those blocks removed. You want to be grounded. This is the work. And I do apologize. No one, no one, not many of us are talking about it in this way. Okay? Not many of us are talking about it in this way. But I am here and I am willing again to teach you everything the ancestors put in me and everything they are teaching me. Okay? And I know, I wish I could, no one wants to hear this. I know my TikTok family don't want to hear this. They have exited. But again, I can't feed your ego, so you got to ask yourself, why are you jumping in the hoodoo? A lot of y'all don't want to jumping in here for the wrong reasons. And I'm telling you, these spirits see you. They see you. And in some way, when you get in the hoodoo, you must. It's mandatory that you have a relationship with the ancestors. There's no way around that. I wish I could tell you something different, but no, there's no way around it because it's ancestral. It's about healing. I apologize if I'm here not here to feed your ego because that's not what I'm here to do. That's not what the ancestors had me here for you, to help you with. If you want to learn it the right way, then that's what I'm here for. Okay, but healing is mandatory. I have some people in conjure know why you getting in conjure. Have you healed? Have you did the shadow work? Are you consistent at your ritual and your ancestor veneration before you even pick up conjure? That should be the goal. But then you got some people go straight to conjure and start working with spirits and then mess themselves up because they didn't take the proper steps to understand the work. Okay, that's in hoodoo. And I have to come here and say that. And so we cover hoodoo from top to bottom, from healing to the advanced root work or conjure. We cover it from top to bottom. We look at the practices of our ancestors and look how they were using it, not just for magic, but for healing their mind, and their spirit. And we begin to do the work to tap back into the magic that we inherited. It's in you. It's already in us. Okay? We just got to peel it back and start looking at it and bringing it forth. That's it. If you're willing to do the work. But if you ask a lot of spiritualists or practitioners, and yeah, they're selling their supplies and things like that, but to really gain the benefit of hoodoo, it is a lifestyle. It is not nothing that you do by when. It is a lifestyle. It is the way you live. It is the way you treat yourself, show up for yourself, and show up for other people in your life. It is not just full of magic. No, it's not. It is a lifestyle. And so it's going to take you time to understand that and get your mind right. If your mind ain't right, then your magic is not gonna be popping. You're gonna be missing messages from ancestors. You're gonna be going from this practitioner to that practitioner to talk to your ancestors. And here you got an ancestor altar sitting right in your front room, but you won't spend 10 to 15 minutes a day just sitting there, just sitting your butt down, closing your mouth, looking at it. Put away the phone, turn off the TV, and just sit there 15, 20 minutes and getting your mind right. That's what hoodoo is about. Okay, we're going to communicate with those ancestors when you get over here. It's the only way to stay rooted in it. That is the only way to stay strong in it because it's ancestral. You follow the guidance of your ancestors. There is your first form of defense. And healing is a part of that because, again, you don't know what's in there until you go to do your magic and you have a scarcity mindset or you codependent, all right? And you have this for other things that's going on with you. You're not going to know that. Okay? And some of us are reaching for magic in a out of ego and not in a way to fix our life. We just want to do, throw stuff at people and things like that. But this is not that. You're only gonna hurt yourself, cross yourself up, if you don't have this up under you. There's ethics and there's principles with that because you got certain spirits, the nature of root work and understanding the spirits that are in root work, understanding the spirits of the roots, understanding these spirits that you're working with. There is a form of ethics that needs to be there when you're doing the work. It's just that simple. And I know, hello, Lady Ra, hello, Louder, hello, Cassandra Knight, hello, May I DMV, hello, welcome, 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 TikTok family, welcome, YouTube family, welcome, all of you. And I know this is a part of the work no one likes to talk about. It's not catchy, it's not marketable, but it's the most important thing. It's the most important thing to your magic is your mind. That's the most important thing to your magic is your mind. So why are we not talking about our mind here? Because it's going to facilitate the magic. And it's going to call on the spirits that's in the ethers. Because your mind is a transmitter and a broadcaster. We've already talked about that. A lot of these spirits are going to be communicating with you through your mind, through your intuition. And if you don't trust your intuition and you don't trust your mind, you don't you're going to miss subtle communication. Versus to what you see on TV with all the spookism and stuff with spirits and things like that. It's a totally different ballpark when you get over here and start working with your ancestors. They speak in synchronicities in a very subtle way. It's more telepathic. It is more like telepathic communication with spirits. And it almost you feel like you, but it's not. But if you don't know your mind and know when spirit is speaking, your ancestors speaking, you will miss it. And that's what the work does here. It slows your mind down so you can really gauge what's going on with it so you can get the messages from your ancestors. You've been getting them, but you probably been missing them because they so covered in toxic thoughts. You don't only have to purge this stuff off your body, but you got to purge it out your mind. And the shadow work and the inner child work is the purging toxicity out of your mind. Ain't gonna do you no good to pick up your bath and start doing any type of work and your mind ain't in alignment with the work. Like I said, this is about alignment. And you might have to do it 4, 5, 7 days in a row to get it in your subconscious that you ready for this shift. You ready for this shift. It's psycho spiritual too. That's why our ancestors was able to do the work that they did. They knew how to shift their consciousness. They knew how to do things 3, 7, 9 days in a row. Again, they knew the importance of getting your mind together. You'll read that through every book that you have. Your mind, your mind, your mind. I don't care which hoodoo book or occult book you pick up. The first thing they're going to be talking about your mind, your mind, your mind, your mind, your mind. Your focus, your focus, your focus, your focus. That's the most important. You can't focus in your magic. You scared of your ancestors. You got high anxiety. Uh, you scared of your magic. Hell, you scared what you can do with your magic. Some people scared what they can do with their magic. If you got all this going on, then your magic is not going to be stable. It's not going to be grounded. Hello, Nelly, Michelle Wells. Welcome, 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 TikTok family. Welcome, welcome, YouTube family. If your mind is all messed up like that, uh, again, your mind is the biggest element to your magic. I was talking having a lecture the other day. I said the mind is such a, oh my God, it's such a un, it's just incomprehensible. I mean, you can't comprehend your mind. Yeah, you got a brain, but you can't see people's mind. It's supernatural on its own. You can't see people's thoughts. That's a supernatural thing that's happening right there, and we dismiss it every day. Yeah, they know you got a brain. You might have all the components in your brain, but no one knows how your mind works until you start opening your mouth. See how that magic happens? I don't know, it's just like that for me. And that's why conjure your voice, your mind is so powerful in your work. And once you got that mind together and you're able to create a positive stream of thoughts where you're rooted in positive thoughts all day long. These are positive thoughts come to your mind. You start attracting these higher intelligences. What you think is spirit is going to again heighten your intelligence and your intuition because your mind again is giving off a vibration, is giving off a frequency. And once it starts giving off those high frequency, and you change the tapes in your head, you again you start drawing on higher frequencies, higher intelligences start moving through you. Your mind starts to shift. This is how this works. This is the spiritual science of the unseen and the mind. Occultists have talked about this over and over again. Your mind, your mind, your mind. I'm dropping gems on you right now. You probably don't even know it because people has been up here showing you fancy spells, distracting you from the true element of magic. You're gonna miss all this because you like glitter, flashy type of stuff. And then, two, we love abandoning ourselves when it's time to do the inner shadow work. I mean, the shadow work and the inner child work. We don't want to show up. We don't do one. You're abandoning yourself. You're abandoning your magic. You're not hurting me at all. Not at all, because I'm gonna be there. That's what I'm there for. I'm gonna show up. The only reason you don't get the resources over there and don't get the support that you need is because you don't show up for yourself. That's the only way that you're gonna not make progress over there. You don't show up for the workshops. You don't show up. You don't do the work. None of that. That's the only way. That's the only way you're not gonna make progress. Is you don't. You just absolutely there and just don't want to do nothing. And you have to be willing. You have to be willing to do that. The spirit can work with you, but if you're not willing, it's not important to you. You're not fooling with because again, you're going to be talking to these. That's the message that you're sending off there. When you, because again, spirits communicate through your mind, through your intentions. They're watching you. You can't trick no spirit, so get that out your mind. It ain't gonna happen. People have tried and find and run right back over there to their religion because they ain't ready for this. Because they gonna tell you the truth, and you better be ready to hear it. Okay, so do the work, beloved. And the only way you don't make progress when you get over there is because you don't go to any of the workshops. You don't um, take advantages of the services of the workshops, of the materials, of the lectures over there. That's the only way that you fail if you don't do the work. And again, again, you're abandoning yourself. You have to ask yourself, why do I keep wanting this for myself, but I abandon myself every time the resources are there? Why do I keep doing this to myself? What happened to me that I keep doing this to myself? Why I won't show up for yourself? You don't show up for yourself, your magic ain't gonna show up for you. If this is important for you, again, this is what you're programming yourself. Unconsciously, this is what you're doing. So, you're not hurting me, is what is important to you. Because all the resources are there. It would be it's absolutely no reason for you not to, like I said, it's just because the way the ancestors have me moving, I be covering everything. They make sure I don't miss a thing over there. They make sure that I don't miss a thing, believe me. They make sure. 'Cause it's through them that I'm able to talk about these things and break them all down, put it together because that is how they taught it to me in very simple childlike form. And as I began to heal myself and using all the spiritual baths and things and learning more about hoodoo to heal myself, the more they were open to teaching me more and more about how it works when I start to use it on me and asking them how I heal myself. Help me, God. Please, ancestors, please help me heal myself. Please show me how to use this to heal myself. Please show me how to get my mind right. Please, honey, them spirits start helping you. When you reach out to them like that, honey, they will help you. But you got to come with a pure heart. You can't come with that shuck and jiving and fluff and all that stuff and you know, perpetrating and all that stuff. No, no, that egoism and all that stuff. No, 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 no. That stuff goes to the side because you are a child upon these spirits. You don't know nothing. Okay, and you go to crying out to these spirits and they start helping you shift your consciousness, help you feel better. You have better energy. Your mood be better. All that changes. It's like I tell people that yeah, keep your psychologist or whatever, but you grab this hoodoo because it's gonna keep you stable. It's gonna keep you grounded because you begin to uh again, you start having spiritual solutions to everyday problems. I don't even argue with people no more. I go right to that altar, start talking to my ancestors, crying, whatever emotions I'm feeling. I don't throw fits and tantrums no more. I go up right to that ancestors altar and throw the fit and tantrum and ask them, help me look at myself because I'm not looking something. It's going on with me and I need help. Okay. Hey, Miss Penny, I am new to your channel. I've been binging on your content to catch up. I'm considered joining your Patreon. I like what I hear, but I'm working out how I commit the time. Again, I would like to reach out by email and consult for direction. Okay, let me put my email in the chat, sweetie. But again, doing this deep dive into inner child work, because you get over here, you got so many wounds over here. It ain't your fault. I'm not saying it's your fault, baby. That's not what I'm saying. It absolutely ain't your fault because that was passed on to you. I'm not blaming you or anything, baby. But what I am saying that you deserve to be your divine birthright. Because this is something the ancestors left to us. And it's a powerful thing to use to change your life and heal your life. And I'm not missing out on my blessing. This is a blessing to me the way it's changing my life and uh showing me my power in this world, showing me how powerful my mouth and my mind is. Because when you do the work, you see the rewards. And then you look at hoodoo and you say, oh, is this really magic? Because you had to get your mind right. You had to tap into that. You had to dig in the deepest parts of yourself and say, yes, the hell I can. I'm going to do this thing. I ain't got no choice but to do it because this is real. This is my life. It's a way of life, you guys. Okay, I know if they telling you this a fast, thing and get the heaviness off of you, but is the heaviness in your mind, beloved? Is your mind aligned with your word? Mind got to be aligned with your word. Okay, it's so important because this is psycho spiritual as well. I know what you think and what they have told you, but honey, when you get over there, I'm gonna show you the real major ingredients to hoodoo is your mind. Tell you that in that Bible, the renewing of your mind. God is a consciousness. How is he speaking to all these prophets? Through their consciousness in dreams, in meditation, contemplation. God is a consciousness. And if you got a whole bunch of garbage in there what somebody said and a whole bunch of I can't do this, I'm not good enough, they better than me. And nah, 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 you ain't gonna be able to see your power because you too busy convincing these things in your head, too busy convincing you that you can't do it. But honey, you ain't gonna do that over there because I know you can do it. I'm gonna do everything in my power so you can see it and have no excuse of why you can't tap into it, why you can't heal yourself, because your ancestors left you a whole magic here to heal yourself. They left you root work and they left you conjure. So there ain't no reason why you can't tap in the same magic as anyone else. It's no reason why you shouldn't be following your ancestors and getting the best magic to fix your life. I'm gonna tell you now. And don't, do the work, beloved. You can get over there and think, oh, it's just gonna happen when I get over here. No, it's gonna happen when you open the book and get your mind right and sit down and be quiet. That's how it's gonna happen. Now you don't need to be picking up no candles. If you're gonna be picking up anything, figure out how you can cleanse yourself and fix yourself and move this stuff out your life. Heal yourself first. Before you start picking up doing stuff, because you know a lot of stuff didn't happen to you. And that just didn't disappear. That just don't disappear. And you probably don't know you got it on you till you start doing the work. Or some of you doing work and don't know why it ain't moving. Have you did this? And shadow work is just not one thing. Oh, I heal and it's over. No, it's ongoing because we're constantly having experiences. We're constantly peeling back layers of ourselves. So it is no end to shadow work. It is no end. It's self-care. It's self-awareness. The deeper you go, the better your awareness is and the higher frequency you can reach. It increases your intelligence. Okay. And again, how do God work? Through consciousness? And how do we reach God? Through our awareness, being conscious of our higher power, being conscious of our ancestors, being conscious of these archangels, being conscious how they're going to communicate with us telepathically. How we know they talking to us? Because our mind is purged and we know our thoughts from an outside thought. This is spiritual communication. You want to know what it is? You want to run around here and act like you want to pick up something and do something. You want to communicate with ancestors, ancestor veneration. I'm gonna give it to you in raw form. This is what it is. You say you want to know. This is what it is. Don't run. Don't run. You say you think this is some type of play period, and it's not. And these spirits over here, they see right through you. So don't get over here. I don't care about the people that's faking the funk and all this kind of stuff. I don't care what they doing. They ain't getting away with nothing either. And at the end of the day, they working with a spirit, but you got to ask what spirit is they working with. All spirits are not the same. All spirits are not equal. We break that down to you too. That's why we have you working with nothing but elevated ancestors. Elevated, beloved ancestors. That's all we have you working with. The ancestors of affinity that love you unconditionally, that want to see you do good in your life. We are very safe in how we do that. Then we go into spirit communication. Break that all the way down for you. It's just no excuse. Then we go into inner child work, shadow work. I don't just give you a whole bunch of magic and show you things, and I help you do the real foundation groundwork to your magic. Your mind is, and once you get your mind right and you start able to go in there and focus on your work intently and know what you're doing, because you have to have focus in your magic. This is energy. Thought forms are energy. I break that all the way down for you. And you're able to build on that, you start to see your magic happen. You start to see results. But first, you have to get your mind right. And I do apologize again how it's being presented to you. Not your fault, not blaming you or anything, but it is your responsibility to know what you're doing. It is your responsibility to heal. And yet this is your birthright. It was handed to you by byproduct. This is your work. This is what your ancestors left for you. And you have a right to be able to use it and know what you're doing when you're using it. There's no way, where the ancestors have worked with me. The only reason why you don't learn over there is because you're not following the lesson. You're not going to the meetings. I'll say this again. You're not listening to the lecture because the way they have me being, I'm too thorough. They want me very thorough in the way I break things down to help you understand. And everything is very thorough over there. There's just no way for you to be confused about anything or what's going on. And you shouldn't be confused in your spiritual practice. Okay, so we break that all down, going through the inner child work. And I'm always amazed when we start doing inner child work. The first phase is people can't really pin down their emotions, yet we are so emotional. People are using our emotions against us. We're so reactive. But yet, when it's time to talk about the inner child, it kind of reminds you of that movie Little, when that woman was acting crazy like that, and then she turned into that little girl. Because truly, her inner child was taking over her in that movie. She was just doing things that was immature, and all this started from her childhood. All of her behaviors and stuff started back to her childhood. Go back and look at that movie Little. That was all that trauma, all that garbage she had carried in her childhood that she was acting out in her adult life. And she had to actually go turn into a child again and be powerless and everything to really connect and find herself. Go back and watch that movie Little. It is dropping so many gems on you in that movie. And truly then she became in alignment with who she truly was. That's how it works. Healing the inner child is not separate from spiritual practice. It is a vital part of it. The healing brings clarity, power. It deepens your ancestral connection. By tending to the wounded child within, the practitioner not only heals themselves but also uplifts their lineage, restores balance to their community, and strengthens every aspect of their conjure. And see, when you change, your life change. Change begins within you. You want to start seeing that change. You want to start seeing these shifts and blocks move out your life. It starts on the inside. The magic starts on the inside, your way of thinking, shifting. And if you're not working with your mind and conditioning your mind to do the shift, then the work is not going to work. It ain't going to work. And you just out here guessing, I'm hoping it's going to work. I think it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't. Your mind ain't even alignment with it. Hey, glad you came cross my feed again. It's always when I'm about to make dinner. I'm sorry. Man in the mirror. Yes. So again, looking at you. Show up for yourself. And I could just speak for me. I had to show up for myself front and center because I was so heavy, so much heavy, and it was on me, honey. Doing this work, honey. I made sure I was at every meeting. I made sure I was writing stuff down, what was coming up with me, sometimes 3, 4 pages, just writing stuff. And when you're writing like that, you are releasing toxins too when you can get it out on paper. When you start getting your grief and all that stuff out on paper, you're releasing toxins. That's a magical act right there, writing it down. That's why I have people over there writing down that shadow work, documenting that. You can do ceremonies with that, whatever you want to do fire ceremonies or whatever. But when you're writing that down, you are releasing toxins. You're doing something magical, even by doing shadow work, writing down what's going on with you. That is a magical alchemical stage that happens. The initiation begins because you're diving deep into self and your consciousness. That's why it's no initiation over here in Hoodoo, because you ain't gonna get far if you don't get your mind right, because them spirits is watching you. And most of those spirits in the Bible are very high intelligences. But I guess, especially when you start using the Psalms, you start invoking these higher intelligence frequencies. And if your mind is not in alignment with some of the things you are saying and doing, you're not going to see the results you want. It's going to take longer. Hey, Tay Taylor, T Cole and jumped over here on TikTok. Okay, so that's going to be important, beloved. And I just, I want this for you so much. I really do. I really do. That's why I come here. But then I have to take breaks and really focus in because the ancestors have me so focused in over there on the message and the mission on Patreon. I go there and I'm working over there, and then I have to do my own self care and stay connected to my spirit. And the ancestors told me I needed to, hey, I need to be able to have boundaries with this social media because the way it affects my energy. And TikTok again is getting like a vampire. It's trying to siphon our energy. Got us making 30 and 40, 50 videos. Everybody trying to go viral. Again, it's taking our time. It's stealing time. And so I have to be very careful on how I use my time because that's the new currency now. That is the real currency that the social media is siphoning from us now. And TikTok, they done changed the algorithm. It's just crazy the things that they do. And they know that the app wouldn't work without people on it. So why are you manipulating the app and shadow banning some people or requiring them to make all these videos? It just doesn't make any sense to me. You're not playing with my energy like that. I'm not playing with you. Either you're gonna do this or not. I'm not gonna play with you. Okay. That's how I feel about TikTok. Okay. Some of these social media platforms, either you're gonna show or put my video out there or you're not. It's just up to you. I'm not gonna sit here and use my time as trying to focus on trying to get my message out. Many people when really I'm supposed to be focused, on saying what the spirit and ancestors have me to say, not focus on your app. The hell? That's not even a mission here. Okay? I don't know what you're doing, but hey, I have to say that because it have people so TikTok got people so wrapped up in stealing people's time and currency that it disconnect you. Okay, thank you so much, Money Beauty Wellness. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you, thank you. Welcome to the live stream, TikTok family. Welcome to the live stream, YouTube family. They're extracting energy from us, keeping us distracted. And honey, we need to be going to that altar and having our mind fixed on our ancestors and God, honey. That's what we need to have our mind. That's where our power is, not in no little funky app, honey. And even with that our God, the app wouldn't even be here. So they got to remember where they come from too. And the app don't work without people. And if you want people up here, act right. People don't know who they are outside the app. This app, they don't. I know who I'm at. I said that my ancestor, oh no, you're not gonna be picking this up every day. You come right to this altar. We'll tell you when to go there. You're not on their time. You're on our time. We don't care about their rules. We're gonna make it shake and move no matter what. But honey, this thing right here that have you people worship this damn app. No, because you look at the energy you give into it. How much energy you give into yourself and your spiritual life, and how much energy you give into that self to this thing right here, honey. That's energy you could be using in your magic, baby. Okay, that is stealing your energy, your attention, your mind. Okay, that's the truth, and I have to get myself off this thing, and and then the ancestor fixed it where my internet went down the whole day. And I said, ancestor, I have not been on no social media or nothing. They was like, we know. You just need to get your mind right and work on these. I want you to focus on these altars a little bit more. I said, okay, I'll do that. Get your mind right, get you a little attunement real quick. I said, I'll do that. Okay, but I have to get back to work. At some point, I have to get back to work. Hi, Cosan. Okay, I have to get back to work, and they fixed everything. again. But again, you have to take care of your energy because you got everybody around you. When you start healing, you start to see how many people and how many things are out to steal your energy. They are energy harvesting you and then fooling you, making you think your energy ain't nothing. But if my energy ain't nothing, why the hell are you so focused on me interacting with you, being on this app? If I'm not worthy, then why you want me here all the time? Why do you want to keep extracting my energy from me all the time? And then start playing with me, not showing my videos and things like that, but then telling me to postpone. Make up your mind what you want to do here. See how they play with you? And then now you irritated, you in a funky mood or whatever because this app is playing with your energy. And really this app is not even important. It wouldn't even be here without you. So TikTok, remember that. Okay? Remember that because soon people are going to be abandoning this app if that continues. Only so far you're going to get with that. You're going to have a whole bunch of bots up here. Okay? And then you got people on this app, they live through this app. This they everything. They got a whole persona on this app, but then when they leave this app, they live a whole totally different life. This ain't even who they are. Okay? They have whole costumes on here. You don't know who from who. So much deception, manipulation is going out. And then TikTok promotes this because they have the aesthetic. Those are the videos that they promote the most. They have the aesthetic and some of the toxicity that that TikTok likes. That's why sometimes I just go to Red Note. I notice the difference in my energy with being on Red Note and being on TikTok. I just got to tell the truth. This app like a lot of messy stuff. It does. It's very entertaining, excitement. You know, I go over there to Red Note. I'm just calm, honey. The stuff they showing me, the stuff I'm learning, the conversations that we're having. Not how it's not a lot of mess going on over there. Okay? I'm just telling you the truth. You do the difference. You scroll Red Note for a week and then go back to TikTok and watch how your thoughts are. They feed off your emotions. They try to trigger you. They try to poison your mind by having these toxic videos go viral. Then make it a trending topic so people can talk about it. They make it so if you don't talk about that, you won't go viral. They choose the subjects they want to go viral. Again, controlling you. Yeah, it's called I forgot the Chinese name for it, but it's a Chinese app that everybody jumped on when they shut down TikTok. I heard what you're saying about the energy attention stealing last week. They thing is doesn't matter the quality of the attention, positive, negative, but the magnitude of the quantity. I heard that makes sense. They are using it like an energy ingregatory or something. I believe that. I believe that. I mean, I just noticed a big difference in them people over there. And I got to say that to about Americas because I'm out of there now. But beloved, if you see how sick we are, we're over here debating for over 100 years about these corporations that's draining us dry over there in America. We're literally the valley of dry bones. They are literally sucking the life out of you. Literally, the whole country. They're literally using us and siphoning our energy and giving us just enough to serve them. It's crazy. And here we are talking and trying to intellectualize this atrocious behavior that's been ongoing for over 100 years over there. And they have been using racism to divide the people so they can't put a stop to it. You're not going to see that until you leave out that it's so sick. And I was telling my therapist this. I said, I cannot stay here. I said, my mind, it don't even make any sense here. I just don't understand. You're constantly trying to get well, but yet you're around all this sickness. You know this stuff is wrong. It's crazy making. It's insane. And you wonder why mental illness is a issue in our country. It's because the we got psychopaths running the country. And that's what happens. That's how that sickness trickles down. You got psychopathic laws. You got psychopathic people running that country. And you don't think you're going to have a whole bunch of crazy people running around, children pew-pewing in the schools and all that stuff because you have a psychopath. Its foundation is dark psychology. You got a whole bunch of pretend that I'm Christian, but I'm really inverted. I love inversions. I love the opposite of love. I love hate. See, they telling you what they is inversion. Okay, I can see it. You know I can see it, but and two, I was like you. I couldn't see it at first until I started healing. It came into full view. I said, "This is a whole bunch of bull crap. My energy is being harvested here, and that's why I'm unhappy. That's why I'm depressed. I know this ain't right." But yet I'm caught up in this web. That's why you can't really get mad at homeless people, a houseless people over there, because they're not willing to play that game with them. I'm not giving you a dime. You're not going to stretch into my energy, and I'm going to live in the great outdoors where it's free, where it's God's area. And now y'all are trying to make that outlaw them, outlaw houseless people, and you've even said that you want to do something with those people, harsh. You wanted to unalive them. It's the sickness for me. The audacity to say this on national TV that you should just unalive houseless people, poor people. That's the insanity that's going on there that we have normalized over there. And it's crazy to me. It's like a whole bunch of zombies that have to get away over there because it's so scary. It's so scary because people are just standing by being passive. I don't know, it's the fluoride in the water. I don't know what the hell it is. But after saying something like that, the same thing that's happening in Nepal should be happening in the Americas. Why you think they know it's coming, why you think they got them underground bunkers? They know it's coming, it's inevitable because you can't keep oppressing the people like that and drain their energy out there. Somebody reach out and start doing some revolutionary things, and it ain't gonna look pretty. I'm just telling you the truth. Got you stuck in survival mode. A lot of people stuck in survival mode, charging these uh because you're in an economic crisis. And I don't know if it's spiritualists talking about this, so we have to talk about that. I had to look at it. I don't want that to be my motivation. I don't want capitalism to be my motivation in helping people. My motivation is because I have a purpose, I have a gift, I have a talent, and I want it to be affordable to others. I don't want to be ruled by fame and all, popularity, whatever. Okay, I don't want that to have my mind like that, but that's what they push over there. And some of these spiritualists are moving in that kind of mode. And you have to ask yourself, especially when you see these ridiculous prices that they charge some of them, it be ridiculous, some of it be unreasonable. So you have to ask, okay, what are they in this for? Ooh, I like that. I don't want capitalism to be my motivation. Okay. I'm not saying you shouldn't get paid for your service. Yes, you because it's an exchange of energy. But you know when you're being exploited and taken advantage of. Okay. You know when you're being exploited and taken advantage of. So you have to really look at those things, what is driving them, because now we have uh, because it's capitalism, it's just like it is immersed in the culture, immersed over there so heavily. Money, 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 money. I mean, it's just crazy. You have to again look at your motivations and stay focused on your mission. It's so important because you got people that's out here and they're out here to make money. They're out here, they can tell a good story. They're a good marketer. Uh, they know how to manipulate people's emotions. A lot of people that know they know how to manipulate people's emotions. They know how to cater to your wounds, your ego, and all of that. And bam, you're ensnared because you know your mind's sick. Some of our minds sick. We can't make good choices. We can't discern who from who because everything around us is being manipulated. So many people are deceiving. It's so hard to trust. And then you stand in a place that everywhere, a lot of people is doing this. Social media has made it easier for people to do this, wear masks and things like that. Okay, so it's easy to be manipulated. If you don't do the work and uh, you haven't done the work and you haven't looked at your wounds and things like that, it's easy for you to be taken away with that because you love the hype, you love the superficial stuff. You don't want nothing real. You don't want nothing authentic. You want to do what everybody else is doing. You want to conform, 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 conform. Okay, they got a lot of that going on, like sheep mind over there. It's just so scary, you guys. Uh, you don't see it until you start healing and you start waking up, and it truly is just like the Matrix. You start seeing all these little Mr. Smiths walking around there. You want to get yourself separated. That's why this spiritual journey is a lonely journey because now you can see the sickness in people. You can see how their energy it's not good. The love of money is the root of all evil. It's not evil. It is the people that have the money. Um, is greed is the root to all evil. It's greed. It's not money. It's greed in people. It's the spirit of greed in people that makes money evil. Money is a beautiful thing. It's an energy exchange. It's meant to keep flowing, keep moving, and when it doesn't do that, that's when it becomes evil because it's wrapped in greed. You just be great. Like these people, you study raising the minimum wage, but you study raising the price of stuff, the price of food and stuff. I'm just talking about the US should stay at a certain level. It should never raise when my minimum wage raise. So how am I gonna ever get out of poverty if you keep raising everything? These companies, corporations keep it taking advantage of the minimum wage and then raising stuff so they can get that money. It doesn't make any sense. You don't want people to afford food. You don't want them to afford anything. That's what capitalism gets you. But then you get mad at China. You get mad at these Asian companies, but they good to their people. The people run the government. The people have a say so, but these corporations don't want that. And your government is in cahoot with the corporations, whether they Democrats or Republicans. They both the same, different faces of the same evil. So it doesn't matter. It don't matter if it's Democrat or Republican, all of them raggedy. And really, like I say this again, that Nepal, I emphasize that should that Nepal thing should have happened. That Haiti thing should have happened 100 years ago with them, because they're not gonna change. They're letting you know they're gonna keep you divided. They're gonna keep you focused on color. They're gonna keep using this to capitalize off this. And really, the power is with you. It's more of you than it is of them. They're gonna need them bunkers when you wake up. They know it. Once you wake up, this is so spiritual. And when you begin to heal, you begin to see all those things. Also, food primary residence should not be taxed. Thank you for your live chat. You're welcome, Lamar Curtis. Welcome, Black Magic Mike. Okay, again, it's insane. And become spiritual. You start to see this. You're keeping us, away from our main resource, which is the land, for a counterfeit resource that's a currency that we shouldn't be putting this much attention to, because you can't really eat that. Okay, that ain't water. That's not going to sustain you. It's a way to exchange energy, a barter, a sort of a barter mechanism, a barter and a supplement. That's what money is, and seeing it in that way. But now you got somebody who want to be greedy, and they constantly want to be greedy. And see, I just see that you're not gonna keep playing with my mind, my spirit like that. You're not gonna keep on draining the energy out of me. You did this to my ancestors, and they had to move from here to there, and all this kind of stuff. And we either gonna have to get up and do something with you, and put our hands on you, or we're gonna have to get up and leave, because you just ain't gonna make it habitable. And and I don't know what pale face people think behind them. Folks don't like you either. Them folks don't like you either. Them wealthy people don't like you either. They think that you beneath them too. So don't fall for that division stuff. We've been trying to tell you, but you keep on, keep on, keep on. Okay. So, but you won't see how sick it is until you start working on yourself and start healing yourself and start seeing how this stuff trickle down. But honey, I had to get out of there because it was literally making me sick. It was making me sick, and it was becoming scary how dumbfounded, you know, that people are. The young lady was talking about, she was surprised that these men were hanging from trees in Mississippi. And I was like, "What, are you crazy?" With all these, it's like every year they unalive a number of black people. And you're surprised. Something is wrong with us. You don't even see something wrong with you. Who would stick around? Would you stay in a house like that? You stay in a house like that that's burning, that they pushing people in the fire. The house is burning down. They got a fire pit in the back. And everybody in that house, they've been pushing in the fire. They've been pushing in the fire. You're going to get pushed in that fire. As long as you're in that house, you're going to die. You're going to get pushed in that fire, pushed in that fire. Would you stay in that house when you know you're going to get pushed in that fire? Would you stay there in a burning house like that? I'm not staying there. Don't make no sense. It's just insanity. I'm not gonna be giving you all my money and all this crazy stuff. You, because you, again, you extracting my energy. I don't know what you're getting out of that. You're getting something out of that. And I'm not gonna participate in that with you. I don't know what you're doing with my energy. What is your outcome with this? Because we know they don't take this much to live. We know this. But y'all done put all this false stuff, and this is only over there in America. It's the most sickest place. And when you look at China, I can't see a country that loves their people more. I mean, nobody there is homeless. There is no poverty in China. They listen to their people, they serve the people there. They are so advanced. They got cities in other places that make America look like the ghetto. It is the most ghettoest place you could ever think of. And you won't see that until you get out of there. These people are, and they've seen anything like it, and you are not going to be able to see it from another perspective till you go out and look and see for yourself. It's the most ghettoest place. They do not love us. America does not love its people. America loves its corporation and money, and that's the truth. There's nothing you can do to intellectualize that. Nothing. I don't care what about the politics, the government. All of those are nothing but a ruse, nothing but smokes and screens to keep you distracted. Okay, that's all that stuff is. Democrats, keep your mouth closed. Keep your mouth closed. Republicans, keep your mouth closed. Cause all of y'all raggedy. You came there to distract and take power from the people. All of you. You are there in the best interest of yourselves and not the people. Because if it was, all of y'all be up there trying to get rid of poverty. All of you, there would be no homeless. It's got empty houses sitting up there in America. Can't nobody can buy. Instead of building houses, it don't make no sense to me. Building whole communities. You got all these empty houses in here. You got more people, uh, and you got the houses to put people in, but you won't. You got all these mega churches that only meet 2 or 3 times a week. Big old churches, but people around them is houseless. They ain't even got no house. Don't make no sense. And no God is too big to put in the church. Don't even need no church. I don't know what kind of God you serving that need a church. God don't need no church. God too big to put in one. Why do it? Don't make no sense. You don't see the sickness in it until you get out of there. Okay? I mean, this they just made our mind sick. And that's a whole bunch of grief work around that, honey. It's a whole bunch of grief work around that. I find myself grieving sometimes about those rascals. I say I can't even go back to my own country because y'all done priced me out of it. If I do, I got to be houseless. And if I'm houseless, you're gonna put me in jail. And now you're thinking about unaliving me. They probably gonna be using them people organs to do God knows what. They're gonna use that for some type of. I'm telling you, the way these folks' minds over there is sick. Okay, them folks' minds are sick over there. I just can't. I got to take a break for that. That is too much. Yeah, you will be sick. Your anxiety gonna be high. Your blood pressure gonna be all messed up. All this stuff's going on with our ancestors. This is why they reach for hoodoo. They knew them rascals, them spirits, them energies, how it could have impact their mind and body, and it was impacting their mind and body. So, honey, they had to reach out to those, again, reaching out to the magic of water, reaching out to the magic of earth, reaching out to air magic, uh, water magic, honey, calling on their ancestors. They was working with those nature spirits to heal themselves, to protect themselves. Honey, they was reaching out to conjure, working with some of these deities and doing a little bit of sorcery because hoodoo has sorcery in it. It just is what it is. You had to have some power and magic to be dealing with these people. Because, baby, they doing high magic on you. They're doing dark magic on you all the time. So you better be working on them. And people talking about putting people in pots and hurting each other. You better be putting them folks in pots and doing something with them. That's what you better be doing, honey. That's what all y'all need to be doing is working some on these folks, honey, on them folks over there that's doing stuff to you. Honey, you missing the whole point, honey. These folks got you fighting with each other when really you need to be bringing these folks down spiritually because, honey, they are marking their calendar. They're lining up their events with astrology, using these energies and everything to keep you bound. So honey, you better learn all the magic you can to do something with them. And that's the way, on the way our ancestors have overthrown these people, got these folks together. They use their spiritual essence and power to get their butt back in line. That's what it's gonna take. But see, they got your spirit all messed up, and that's somebody playing with your mind like that and your energy. They keeping your spirit bound. Okay, they're using dark psychology. What is psychology? It means the study of the soul. So what are they using? A dark soul magic on you. Better, get your mind right, know what it is. And the better you get your mind right, you're gonna see right through that. You ain't gonna want nobody playing with your spirit like that, your energy. Hey Juju babe. I said, I true, so true. I see it in every part of Florida. Lamar Curtis, Juju baby, babe said, I said, speaking all facts here. And they playing with you. Okay, and now more than ever, we need to be getting our mind right, getting aligned with our ancestors, because we're gonna need some heavy spiritual ammunition, and you're gonna need some spiritual communication and protection over there. So ain't no sense that you be scared to talk to your ancestors in spiritual communication. I bet your butt gonna be calling on God and everything else. It get too bad, you're gonna be wanting to talk to a spirit. You hear me? So you might as well go ahead and learn how to do it. Okay. I learned everything you just said during the pandemic with my spirit open up. Okay. You're gonna be wanting to talk to, honey, a spirit or somebody to come save you. That's the only thing gonna save you. Get yourself together and tap into your magic. You're gonna need something supernatural. Okay, you're gonna need some supernatural help. What you dealing with, because you don't wrestle with flesh and blood. You're wrestling with these spirits that's inside these people like that. Cause you look upside the head, you be like, why in the world would you want to do something like that? How in the world could you sit around here and watch people be in poverty like this, living like this, unaliving people that don't look like you in the street? You know, what's wrong with you? What this honey? What is wrong with you? What is wrong? What is, that's crazy. To have that much evil in you like that, and not just for 100 years, for 500 years, you're gonna keep this going on. That takes a lot of energy and a lot of evil to be in you like that. No, I don't want to be standing next to you. And I don't want to think about, I could just feel the energy over that country, that oppressive energy over that country. I had to get out of there. And they're gonna make sure you feel every bit of it. You gonna share that. They're gonna, if they can't extract no energy from you, basically what they saying. If you're not gonna play that game and you choose to be houseless and you don't want to choose that game and play into that game, they're gonna unalive you and see you unfit. They either gotta be able to jail you, drug you up. They gotta be able to do something with you. Extract your energy. If they can't extract your energy or nothing like that, they're gonna unalive you. And I'm sure when they unalive you, they're gonna take your organs and use it for scrap. Because by them, they gave you a social security number. They got a bond on you. You in their country, they can do whatever they want with you. That's how they feel. Because you are a U.S. citizen. You belong to them. I'm not gonna play with you like that. Yeah, that pandemic opened up a lot of people because we were forced to deal with ourselves. We was alone. We couldn't be in the company of other people. So we had time to sit with our thoughts and see they keep you busy working from here and there, trying to do this and this and that. You can't even know what you thinking, whether you going, you coming, you doing this, doing that. And they keep you like that. That's why they got the weekday and then they got the weekend, the weekend. They started weakening you with these words they play, all this dark magic they doing on you. And sometimes we be crossing ourselves up and don't even know it. You gotta be careful what you say, cause honey, sometimes you be saying stuff, crossing yourself up, and you don't even know that you crossing yourself up in the way you saying things. And so many people rushed to go back to what we had, honey, and we really should need to be getting somewhere and sitting down, being quiet. That was a time to again for us to reset and start looking at things. And that's gonna what it take again and shut it on down like that again. Okay. So that's what's going on there. So getting your mind right, doing the healing work, and you need hoodoo more than ever. You need your magic to work more than ever. Go ahead and do the work, beloved. Don't be scared to do the work. Uh and again, we have the resources over there for you to do the work. I post the meetings. I give a poll on what's going to be the best day for you to show up at the meetings. After I look at the poll, I schedule a meeting, inform you of the meeting, and all you got to do is show up. Now, if you don't show up to those meetings, the shadow work meetings, if you're and I know thyself member, if you don't show up, it's because it's again, you're not hurting me, you're not tricking the spirit, you're abandoning yourself. You putting yourself down. You don't think very much of yourself. You don't want that for yourself. That's not important to you. because you're not tricking me. You can't trick me. You're not hurting me. And you can't trick a spirit, so you can get that out your mind. You can come over here and pretend I'm gonna do this, and then you can pretend all you want to. Okay, those spirits see you. Ain't nothing shaking and jumping if you ain't got yourself together. And you can try to do shadow work alone, but if your mind is sick, I trip out when people try to do this. If your mind is sick, how you gonna shift? You ain't got nobody there helping you do the shift. No one helping you to look at yourself from a different perspective or help you look at the situation from a different perspective. You need that. Need a counselor, need a group, need a life coach. You need someone to help you. Okay, you didn't need no help getting sick, but you damn sure gonna need some help getting well. I always side eye people to say I did it by myself or I did shadow work already. What you mean you did? You mean you're doing it? You're always doing shadow work. It's never in the shadow work. You're always peeling back parts of yourself, discovering new things about yourself. You're always shifting and changing. You're always refining yourself and growing. That's how magic works. It grows, it gets bigger. The more awareness that you have about self, the better your magic gets. This is about awareness, be able to reach higher consciousness. And that's what happens when you do shadow work. You start really looking at yourself. You start really getting closer to spirit. Because a lot of those voices is gone. You get a chance to sit with yourself and see what's going on in your head. So it is and I know what you're saying out here. I apologize that you're seeing that it's happening, um, and that you it's a lot of misleading misrepresentation out there. But I will tell you this: your if your mind is not work right in your magic, it is not going to be stable. It is not going to be grounded, and you might see blocks. No, it is not your fault, but it is your responsibility to heal it if you want to see your magic grow and evolve. Okay. One of the things that we offer over there, and we're getting ready to talk about astrology. We're diving in deep. I know the group is very excited about that because I get a chance to talk about astrology more deeply. One of the topics we're going to be talking about is Vedic astrology. It's very fascinating because when I looked at Vedic astrology, I said, that's what I do with the Hoodoo spiritual blueprint. I break it all down and then I turn it in, let them know how these planets are and transits and things are showing up in their life right now. And then I provide them with root work and healing work and shadow work they should be doing based on um the astrological forecast on the current astrological forecast. And then I provide them for that work so they can know exactly what they're doing. And so when I looked at Vedic astrology, it does the same thing, but that system, which I'll talk about that more because there's so many components to that. But that's what Vedic astrology does. They already have that system built in there to help a person refine their character based on their natal chart. And that's basically what I do. I was like, oh my gosh, ancestors, I already do that. So it was fascinating to go through that. And so, what is a hoodoo? What is a benefits of the hoodoo spiritual blueprint for the beginner practitioners? For any of you that are interested in that, their service is now. It was $10. It's now $15. My email is in the chat here on YouTube if you're interested in that, and on TikTok if you're interested, DM me. But it is very beneficial when you first begin a hoodoo journey, it can feel exciting and overwhelming at the same time. Sometimes you don't know where to start from. Okay. So what this does is give you tools and things like that to help you. Okay. And so when I come in, I'll take the chart and I will take your natal chart, the time, the place, the date you was born. I look at everything in your chart from the beginning to end. And I would start looking at these placements, the transits, the sextiles. I start looking at these things and start breaking them down, looking at their attributes, and I start putting together a chart. A spiritual blueprint will provide you with directions. If you're new on your journey, you know exactly where to start it. Instead of just jumping into random spell work, you know exactly what spells and rituals to do that are essential to your growth and tapping into your magic. It brings more clarity on what you should be working with ancestor veneration, the cleansing, protection, and healing. And it's really a head start so you won't be confused, especially for new practitioner. This will help you avoid a lot of confusion and develop confidence in your practice. And I can tell you, most of these who do blue charts that I do, they are so accurate because what I find is the people, what's ever in the blue chart, is usually their blueprint is usually the things that they have going on there, right then and there. Okay. I'm gonna focus on what's going on now, what not the past. I'm taking it and you can apply the medicine, the root work and everything you should be focused on now to give you a head start and get you in alignment with things. Okay. At the core, Hoodoo is honoring the ancestor. The blueprint ensures beginners understand the importance of relationships, encouraging regular offerings, prayers, ancestral work before diving into advanced conjure. With ancestral guidance, practitioners gain a spiritual clarity and protection and rooted in sense of belonging. So that's the first thing we do. We're gonna look at that north and south node and start looking at what you should be doing and what gifts you came here with, what gifts and talents you came here with. That blue chart, that blueprint is going to show all of that. Okay, so you will see it and what work, ancestors work, shadow work you need to do to get to the other side, to get you tapped into your magic. Again, this is a total holistic practice. Uh, again, about emotional, physical, mental wellness. And so when you go to looking at that blueprint, you get to see um, just everything that is going on with you and the things that you need to work on. I love them. I've just had so many. I haven't posted in the reviews here, but I've had so many people. The feedback was like, Miss Penny, this is right on target. This is exactly what's going on. Uh, this gave me so much clarity. This resonate with what was going on. I find that astrology is really sometimes when we look at it and applying it, if we're doing it right and looking at it, it's 85 to 90% accurate. It may not be 100% accurate, but it's 80 to 90%, sometimes 100%, in rare cases, 100% accurate. But it's a good way to gauge the work that you need to do. Okay. Um, again, it's all about healing, getting you in alignment, help you not only transform with magic to change your life, but also about that inner transformation. Okay, and getting into your authenticity, understanding how your magic works. I've seen it where practitioners, they get whole insight about where their magic gifts are in at and what to do to the gifts uh tap into the gifts to get the benefits out of them. So again, that blueprint, and that's the way I know that tripped me out. And you guys will get a chance to go through Vedic astrology. um you get a chance to look at Vedic astrology and seeing all the components in it and how it works, and how I have taken Western astrology and start doing the same thing that they do in Vedic astrology. But you have a lot of our ancestors, they just by product, they like the Vedic form of astrology better because it was based on the moon cycle. And so they saw more accuracy in the Vedic astrology than the Western astrology. And it's something that I take Western astrology and I break it down. And when I get done with it, it's almost look like Vedic astrology the way I have broken it down, especially the blueprint, the spiritual blueprint. Okay. So, and astrology is in hoodoo. It is absolutely in hoodoo. That's why our ancestors looking at those almanacs, trying to see when those planets would come up and see when there was the best time to do their work. And so they knew about the moon phases, they knew about different planets conjuncting and things like that. They would do certain kind of work, or they would call on a particular spirit during that time to make sure that the work was successful. Okay. You have some of them using that. They were using planetary magic or using the celestial timing for their work. But we go into that even more when we talk about conjure and root work, the variety of ways that they use time when they did their work. So that's going to be an interesting subject as we go into that further next month. Now, next month we have some really awesome things coming up. We have covered again a lot of stuff that has to do uh, that makes hoodoo what it is, such as Jewish mysticism, Solomonic magic, some of the high magic with it, the sigils, the seals. So we covered a lot of that in the beginning because that was in hoodoo. That's in hoodoo as well. So now we're getting to the meat and the potatoes of hoodoo. We're actually diving in there, showing you the components and bringing a lot of work together to help you understand the practice. So I'm so excited about next month and all the stuff that we're going to have going on. And our ancestors also looked at the moon. We're also getting ready to break down that again for the people are over there. I know if you've heard this where we're breaking down the mansions of the moon again over there. Okay, we're looking at the moon again and the phases of it and how we use it in our workings. So astrology is in hoodoo, whether you know it or not. That's why our ancestors was carrying that almanac, and some of them was lining up some of their work with astrology. Okay, and so by including this, looking at your natal chart and including it in your practice, it certainly will show you where you can keep your work in alignment and keep yourself in alignment when a Mercury retrograde comes up or something like that, a retrograde is in play, you will know exactly the root work and conjure work you need to do to keep yourself in alignment. You will know exactly what magic that you need to focus on that you will have more success with. Because sometimes the magic you think you need to do when you talk to your ancestors, it'd be something totally different. Somebody may be showing you how to do something, and you might need to be working on healing some instead of doing that magic. Maybe if you heal that, that'll remove the block, and you won't have to do it. And that's how it works sometimes. That's why it's important for you to have a divination and be talking to your ancestors instead of just following people. Okay, they are not your a lot of them they don't have the wisdom of your ancestors, okay? So it's only so far they're going to be able to guide you on. My grandparents used to use the almanacs. That's black magic said my grandparents used to use the almanac. A lot of folks that escaped from slavery using the moon, okay? So that really comes into that moon magic because we had to relate. We get. I don't want to divulge too much because it's so juicy all the stuff we going over there. But when we get into nature spirits and we start understanding root work again, this is about understanding the power of nature. Why are we going to that tree? Why are we putting the food there at the tree? What is that tree doing for us? Why are we setting doing our rituals and stuff on the ground? Why are we placing things there? What is that ground doing for us? Why do we work with certain dirts? Again, you're working with spirits. I don't care what you pick up hoodoo, honey. You trying to run from spiritual communication. You're gonna run dead into it every time you pick up some. Every time you pick up some, you conjuring, you working with a spirit, you doing sorcery. I don't care. You're picking it up. You're gonna understand that when you get over there because I'm gonna break it down to you. So I don't know why you running from ancestral communication. I don't know why you running from spirit communication. I don't know why you say you want to talk about ancestral veneration. And the minute that we start talking about with spirits and stuff, everybody want to run. Don't nobody got nothing to say then. Don't nobody want to talk about that. We want to talk about magic and all this other stuff. We want to do something magical and spiritual, but we don't want to talk to no spirits. I don't make it make sense, people. That you don't need to be picking this up. Because over there, you're going to be working with a spirit. Somebody is going to be working with Saint Expedite. Somebody is going to be working with Saint Michael. Somebody is going to be working with the Archangel Michael. Somebody's going to be working with the Archangel Raphael. Somebody is going to be working, you're going to be working with some spirit over there. Saint Peter, you're going to be working with a spirit somewhere over there. You're going to be working with some High John the Conquer root. When you work with High John Conquer root, you're working with the spirit in the root. Come on now. So I don't know why you're running from ancestral communication. In fact, ancestral communication is going to help you be able to communicate with these herbs and trees and roots and stuff better. They're going to clear the line up with you for you so you know what you're doing. So you say you want to learn about ancestral communication? Or you want to know about ancestral veneration, but you steady putting stuff on that altar, running away from that altar, ain't sitting there 15, 20 minutes, and shutting off the phone and everything and trying to listen. You don't even know yourself. You don't even know the wounds you got, the pains you got, because you so stuck in survival mode trying to go, 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 go. You, hey, you need to sit down somewhere and rest. Honey, and I think that's what COVID did. COVID put us back on our back because we needed the rest. These folks are driving us crazy, running here, working this work. We didn't even know we needed that break until COVID happened. And then all of us decide, hell no, we don't want to go back to work. Can we work from home? We realized how our energy was being manipulated and distracted. And so a lot of us say, hell no, I want to work from home. We're gonna come away with our own business. Now we realize we was being abused. I'm glad we had this break. Now I realize how y'all was taking advantage of me. Now I'm work for myself. I don't want to come around there and be around y'all folks. Y'all manipulate my energy. I got this going on with me. Hey, folks didn't want to come back to work after COVID because folks start seeing how these corporations was extracting and manipulating our energy. You know I ain't lying. Okay. It ain't too long ago they've been making it mandatory where you have to do hybrid work and come in here. Why you want them folks to come in there? You know, nobody want to, and y'all just want somebody to torture when you come in there because y'all don't want to deal with your own life. So you take it out on other people. And so you want to dump off your garbage on them. Why you want them people up in there? Because you know it's not required to sit up in your office to do that. Okay, so you see, again, you know what I'm saying is true, beloved. You know what I'm saying is true. I'm gonna bring it to you like that. And you so anxious, your anxiety is everywhere. Your mind can't sit still because you got so much to do because you're trying to keep up with what's going on. Okay, and really you need to get somewhere and take care of yourself. Take you a warm bath, take you a good spiritual bath, and sit with yourself and see what's going on with you. Okay, and so I can tell you this: when you get the if you decide to get a hoodoo spiritual blueprint, it's going to really empower you. It's going to really motivate you. It's going to inspire you to go ahead and get in alignment when you start seeing all these good attributes and all the root work you have available for you to do to start refining your energy. I just love them. You'll have more confidence on your walk. You'll know exactly where you need to start off at if you get one of these things. So if you're a beginner or you just want to know what root work that's in your astrological chart that would be beneficial for you, what spiritual work or shadow work that you need to be focused on at this time, it is a great idea to go ahead and get one of those Hoodoo spiritual blueprints. They're only $15. Again, you can DM me. I have put my let me go ahead and put my email in there again. I have and I would need your time, date, place of birth. I'll get you out of invoice when that's completed. I'll get the started on your chart and you'll get it within a day or so. I'm pretty good about getting them out. We had time to sit the hell down and think. Yeah, we sure did. You don't have time to think, and they keep you like that. That's why they keep on raising these prices, messing with the algorithms on social media, choosing what they want to go viral because they choose the topics for you because they don't want you talking about their regular behavior. Oh hell no, they want you bringing it out, and they want they're gonna choose the how they want you to be. Drink the Kool-Aid. It's so delusional. They want you to keep you in a state of delusion. Then they play the music. The music even have you more delusional. And then they entertain you. A lot of us attention span so bad. If we're not being entertained, our attention span is just short. We want to go. If it's not no toxicity coming out of it, that any excitement that's going to dramatize us and have us our emotions manipulated, we don't want to have nothing to do with that. We want something manipulating our emotions and triggering us all the time. We got to have some excitement and a little toxicity. Yeah, some of us we like that. You get somewhere and sit down. That's why you had a lot of these people uh, during COVID, they actually went crazy because it actually hurt them to sit by themselves. Because you have some people they cannot, um, they can't, they can't manage their own energy. They can't manage that. They have to live off the energy of others. They have to be in the presence of others to feel anything, to feel normal. They can't live. They have to be in. You got some people like that. That's why I have to ask you when you start looking at shadow work and we breaking down your psychogenealogy, you get to find out if you do you create the energy or do you need to get energy from somebody else? Can you can you tap into your ashe or you tapping into the ashe of somebody else to get your magic going? So you see a lot of that stuff going on when people start following these spiritualists that may be popular or whatever. They're not following, a lot of them are not following to learn. They're following, think they're going to get that magic that the same practitioners have, and you are not. Everybody get their own magic. That's the problem right there. We have been taught to idolize people, to put people up on pedestalize gods when that should be ourselves, when the only people we should be idolizing is the being within ourselves. The Hoodoo spiritual blueprint. I like it. I get it done. I know that's right, Jericho. Okay. So that's where a lot of people be following. They'll jump from here to here because a person is popular, and they don't. I'm telling you now, and I'm gonna say it again. And I'm not trying to toot my own horn, it's just what I see. A person should be able, if they have studied this and they know this, they should be able to come here and break this down to you like a science. It should not have any fluff on it or anything like that. They should be able to talk about the components and science to their craft if they've perfected it. They should be able to articulate this if they're coming in contact with these spirits and these spirits are telling them uh, all the components, all the elements of hoodoo, all the elements of their spiritual practice, not showing you some magic or anything like that. That's only the byproduct of the work that they done. That's the only reason why they're able to be proficient in their magic because they have done the work. I don't know why they come. Please, practitioners, please stop showing them stuff and not telling them about healing first. Please stop doing that. Stop telling them that, and then they be all upset thinking it don't work. Yes, it do work, beloved. But it's layers and steps to this. It's a science. When you do the work, it work. It is work over here. We might have to get up in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning for 7 days in a row to pray and do some intercession on some lights we set. We don't just walk away one day and like, no, you have to get up and do the work. Hoodoo is all about work. Explain that to them. Okay, you might have to do it in layers. You might have to do a bath every time you're doing the work. Again, to get your mind going, to tap into your subconscious and get that sucker to working that magic to you, because the magic is already in you. You just got to tap into it and be disciplined to access it. That's how that subconscious mind works. That's where the magic is. So you don't understand it because nobody is broken it down to you this way. They got you thinking it's out the air, it's just gonna happen. No, 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 no. Your mind has to be in alignment with it. It's all about a hoodoo. Any work is all about alignment. And you got to know it's gonna happen. You got to know that in your mind the power be already be aligned with the work, and you will see the results. And it might take you 7 days to get it, may take you 9, may take you 13, sometimes all month, maybe a year, depending on what you got going on. But you're gonna do some work to get it to, if you want to see it. When you actually see it, it's gonna shock you. You ain't gonna know what to say. You're gonna be baffled. A lot of people are baffled. They just like, what the. Yeah, I know. I don't know. Is this magic? Is it magic? I don't know. Is it magic? Because you did the work. You tapped in. You can't say you earned every bit of the manifestation because you did the work. You were consistent. You were persistent. You were determined. You were persevering. That's how this work. You have to stand up in that divinity, and you got to get this thing going. Like, we're gonna do this work. We're gonna do this work. We're gonna do this work. Okay. You shifting your whole consciousness into your magic, and that sometimes that takes time. Ain't your fault. These folks that told us, got us believing in something outside of ourselves instead of believing in the Christ and the divinity within ourselves. That is where the true magic lies at. And our ancestors, they cleared the way for that magic. They move all obstacles and negativity out the way. So once that magic, you start saying, doing that magic, again, it goes where it needs to go and start forming and doing what it needs to do. That's why you need the ancestor. Anything comes in there trying to break that up, they moving it out the way. They clearing the way for you. Same thing with your guardian angels and archangels. You calling on them to clear the way. Them the best allies you can have in your magic, because they're gonna clear the way. Any type of static or negative thoughts or anything like that to try to get in there, they're gonna block that out the way. I hope this making sense to you. I don't know no ritual, but I am very spiritual. It came with the schools of knowledge that I've already walked through. Okay. Well, anything can be a ritual. It could be a ritual just going to your altar in the morning and saying a prayer. That's a ritual. It's a ritual to put food on your ancestors' altar and water and light candles and say a prayer. That's ritual. It's a ritual to set up a archangel or angel altar or whatever. Work with the archangel Michael and go pray for protection. Psalm 91 on your altar every morning for protection in your life. That's a ritual. It ain't complicated. Ritual is about consistency. The things that build the magic and is the consistency and the faith in the ritual. The more you do it, the more alive it becomes. Okay, Miss Penny, thank you. I have to go now, but this will be on my playlist in the morning. I love listening to you at work. In between telling the truth, you have me cracking up with what you be saying. All right, I hope to see you again, Black Magic. Thank you for coming in here. Love your engagement. Okay, so again, you have to get into there. I don't care what nobody telling you. Okay, you're gonna be working with spirits. You need to know spirit communication. It baffles me. I'm just baffled. I'm baffled by people to say, "Oh, I want to do ancestor veneration." Yeah, I want to do ancestor veneration. Yeah, I want to do ancestor. Tell me, tell me, tell me. Then you tell them, and you spiritual communication, and you're gonna have to talk to spirits. Crickets, crickets. And I'm gonna tell you right now. And I mean this with everything in me. You cannot trick a spirit. This is not Christianity. This is not Christianity that you can go in there, pretend and put on mask up in there and jump up and down and pretend like you speaking in tongues or whatever you do over there. But I'm telling you, these spirits see right through you. And that's why they're able, when they see your heart and your intentions is right, they'll work with you. You're gonna come in, but if you over here shucking and jiving and you think this some type of trend and you really don't want nothing and all that, you ain't gonna see the results you want. I don't know how you're doing. I'm just using that for an example. I don't know what you do. I know what I do though. I'm only saying what I do. And the spiritual human being life really started when I was 8 years old, and now I'm 59 years old. And thank you for your live chat, live piece. I don't go to no altar. I don't know about altars. An altar, you go to an altar when people go to a church, they have an altar, right? A high place where they go to call on their conscious contact with God. You can have an altar in your mind. Your mind is an altar. You can go within your mind, again, start altering your mind to have conscious contact with your God. That's what you're doing. That's what an altar is there. An altar is there. It is an understanding that you're going there to alter, to shift your consciousness, to talk to your higher power, to talk to your ancestors, to get spiritual guidance. The altar is nothing but a symbolism to get you start shifting your mind when you go to your altar, that you're going into the spiritual realm. There again, you're calling out to your higher power. You calling out to the Most High for assistance, for guidance. You're calling out to your ancestors. That's what the altar is there for. It can even be in your mind. It's already happening in your mind when you go there. You're altering your consciousness, going into a higher state of consciousness when you go to talk to God. Because why? God is a consciousness. These spirits are consciousness. They don't got no mouth like you. They are consciousness, so they're going to speak to you through your mind. But you will miss the messages if you got a whole bunch of garbage and negativity in your mind. You missing all types of messages. Can't nobody, if you got a static line coming in, you on the walkie talkie and ain't on the right channel, they on the wrong channel, but you steady trying to talk to them, they can't hear you because it's a lot of static in their line. You got too much static in your line. You got to clear that line out. Your mind is a broadcaster and a transmitter. So you got to get on the right frequency, the right channel, so you can have this knowledge start flowing through you, so you can start getting these messages. That's the only way I can break it down to you. And you is so true because the spirit do see within our hearts and our soul. No lie, you can't hide because it's true consciousness. They see what you're emitting off. They see your thoughts. They see your thoughts. You are represented by your consciousness with spirits. Okay? So you can't trick no spirit. That's why people run over there and go back to church. Yeah, you this ain't the same over here, baby. This ain't the same over here, honey, baby, because we work with spirits and they can see through you. So if your heart ain't right, it ain't true, your intentions not right, some of these spirits ain't gonna mess with you. And you get the line and faking with them, you start faking, they would abandon you because they ain't gonna be around no mess. A lot of them. Okay, you're welcome, Lamar Curtis. They're gonna be around no mess. That's why you got to be right on. Some of them, you're not doing the right thing. You're not at that altar. You're not being consistent. You're not talking about what's going on with you. You're trying to fluff, fake, and jive and hurt people and do things like that. Some of them spirits will leave you. And if you're going to consistent to do that, then again, you're going to call in, you're lowering your vibration on a frequency where you draw lower entities or lower spirits to you because you ain't doing them crossing yourself up, messing yourself up. That's what's going to happen. Okay. So know when you get over there, um, if you decide to get over there doing the work, making sure that you are serious in your intentions because your ancestors see you. These spirits see you. And this is all about spiritual communication. No matter what nobody done told you, I don't care what they telling you. This you will every time you picking up a conjure oil or anything like that, you're working with spirits. You're working with the natural energies, with roots, herbs, water, earth. All of those are spirits. Their spirits, if it wasn't no energy, no ashe in it, we wouldn't be using it. If it didn't have no power in it, we wouldn't be using it in our work. It's obvious that it has power in it. And so we're going to break all that down to you to help you understand why are you using the water, why are you using the herbs, how to use your herbs. Some of us, we just picking them up, dumping them in there. We're not, again, uh, making a connection with the herb, holding it, praying over it, blowing smoke over it, thanking it, or even praying over the work in a way that all the ingredients are being honored, all the spirits are being honored in the workings. Okay. Some of us are not doing it. You see somebody just doing something, you just doing something, but you don't understand the sacredness and all the spirits that you're working with when you start doing your work. Okay. And so uh, it's important that we break all that down and understand that. And you're probably new in your journey. You probably saying, "Hey, Miss Penny, I don't know where to start. I do want to start." I would say start with our first. Get your natal chart. Let me look at that. Break it down because that can be your guide. It'll give you some structure on the things that you need to work with. I don't know how far you are in your journey. If you're just beginning, I always say do the know thyself because you get the shadow work, you get workshops, you get the healing group, you get a lot of resources in that helps you do the core healing before you move on and try to start working with magic. Really start trying to get you to heal, work closer with your ancestors, get that going first. And then have your ancestors kind of lead you to put things together when it comes to magic because hoodoo is ancestral magic. Okay. It comes through the lineage of our ancestors. They teach us it's their special relationship they had with nature. And we'll go into this even more. I cannot wait. I'm telling you, it's going to be so juicy next month because now we're bringing hoodoo together. We're looking at all the powerful elements in hoodoo and how our ancestors put it together. And then we go into these wonderful lectures where we really start understanding the sacredness of hoodoo. And it just brings in so much insight, helping you gain so much confidence, so much security in your work. Because we've covered a lot of things over there. So now we're getting to the meat. Hoodoo Heritage Month is when we get to the meat and potatoes of the work. Okay, I have a 5-year-old daughter, and I give her the name Oshun, and I teach her name, and she is my blessing in this spiritual life that I live in and walk within day by day. Well, I say to you, Lamar Curtis. Okay. And we cover everything. Uh, and we show you, let me say everything because I don't know everything. I do not. Let me correct that. But we show you, give you a really good foundation of hoodoo where you can follow your ancestors, and that's the way it should be done. It should be not following nobody else or anything like that. It should be really ancestral veneration first, if that's what you want. You're really true to hoodoo. The altar should be put up first before you start touching magic and stuff. There needs to be some libations jumping off, something like that need to be going on before you start touching stuff. Where they should be guiding you on the magic because they the one that make it pop. They the one make it work. They the one to clear the way. So every time you go there and you ain't using them, you stand a chance of it not working. Okay. But over there, we're just getting ready to dive deeper with that. Just the meat and potatoes of thing. We have covered the science of the components because I can talk about it in different aspects the way the ancestors have taught me through the years of breaking it down and showing me reading different books. They have showed me books and I say that ain't even got nothing to do with what we doing. They say open the book. and it has nothing but hoodoo in it. And I be like, what the hell? Why was they calling it this? They be hiding some of the stuff in a lot of these books, you guys. I'm telling you. They be hiding a lot of the work in a lot of these materials, but you would miss it because the name of the book will be off. It'll be an off name. And you be like, hmm. And you open it up, and that's all they're talking about. Okay. Even when we go through and we look at the African spiritual systems among diaspora, we gain more insight about hoodoo as well. There is no limits to hoodoo. Hoodoo is not a religion, it is a spiritual practice, a science, a magic. It doesn't matter what religion you are, you can practice hoodoo. Hoodoo is not going to do nothing but bring magical elements to your religion. Okay, that's why we took hoodoo and we took hoodoo and we gave Christianity power. Without hoodoo, Christianity hadn't no didn't have any magic in the Bible that they was using. We getting ready to break that down. Real tough over there because we going into looking at all these conjure people in this Bible, the way our ancestors looked at it. This lecture is going to break everything down for you. You're going to go resources so you can see it for yourself, the way our ancestors saw it. So if you're interested in that, get over there. If you've been doing ritual a long time and you've been successful in your rituals working with your ancestors and you're ready to conjure and work with other deities and other traditions, we covered that as well with our conjure membership. If you're brand new, you don't know about rituals. You got your ancestors altar up. You don't know what else you should be doing. Um, you've been doing the shadow work. You don't know what else you should be doing to add there. The ritual tier is good for that because we get you consistent with working. Kind of get you started with working with saints. Kind of get you started, not kind of anything. Get you working with saints. Get you working with angels to do some elevation work. Now, if you need it all and you say, Miss Penny, I don't have anything. I don't know shadow work. I don't know conjure work. I don't know ritual work. I don't know anything. I don't know about healing. I don't know anything. Then I recommend the I Know Thyself membership where you get everything. I think we're coming up on a tarot card workshop on the 26th. We have a tarot card workshop, and I'm thinking about doing those monthly just to get everyone confident with using divination tools when talking to their ancestors. We've just covered pendulums over there for those who are interested. Say, hey, Miss Penny, I don't like tarot cards. I want something simpler. So we've talked about pendulums over there and dowsing rods to communicate with ancestors too. It's just absolutely no way that you can get it wrong over there. Okay. Miss Penny, do you believe the people in the Bible were real or is it allegory? Huh. I think it's a little bit of both. I think it's a little bit of both when you start looking at the elements of the Bible and who created it. I think it's a little bit of both because you see them changing the name of some of these characters. Some of them were women. Okay. Uh, Now I do believe that the events happened like that. Do I believe the particular people they named in there were the exact people? Not not necessarily. Okay. But I believe some of the things that happen in there. That's just like this thing. I'm gonna break down this Jesus thing. Jesus wasn't the only one working miracles there. There was a variety of graduates and students that were going to in a priesthood that were always performing these type of magical rites. You'll see that with some of the priestess when we look at the Sibyls as well. We look at those ancient women. They were already raising the dead. They were already resurrecting people. They were already healing people. They already had these abilities. Jesus didn't do anything that has not been done at first. In fact, he was not the only one out there doing those things. There was a whole school, metaphysical, spiritual school that was teaching this. And a lot of this derived from the ancient matriarchs, the women. They had access to these unseen sciences. And later, men were taught these sciences and they made the religion. But these were spiritual sciences at first. So a lot of the stories in there have been turned around, and the genders of some of the people in there have changed. But it's definitely a good book, again, because I have to look at we're looking at the Bible from an esoteric occult perspective. And so when we go in, because we're going into that next month, we're gonna break this Bible down again. Okay, I don't mind going over it again and then giving you, providing you for more resources to help you fully understand. But when we go in and we look at this Bible, we're looking at front from an occult magical perspective. Okay, this is the way we understand how magic works. Whether they want to call it faith, they want to call it miracles. Because I had somebody say Jesus wasn't doing magic; he was doing miracles. What is the difference? What is the difference? Because the man was doing the same thing. Whether I do magic or I do a miracle, it's the same thing. I don't know why y'all do that. You Christians just stop it because that man was a conjure man. Just stop it, stop it, stop it. That's how you explain him. All them folks in there was conjure people, root workers. That's what they was. So you don't get mad at me. It's right there in your Bible. Now you can try to put a spin on it. I don't know what you think you're doing when you do that. Water it down, make it. It don't need you to fix it. It is what it is. Okay. So we understand that these people, they were conjure people, they were magical people, and magic never really went away. They just put another name on it. I even run into these books where you have the Christian magic, Christian witches. Y'all been doing this, and you say you don't like pagans, but everything in your Bible and the holidays you keep are pagan. That's why I have to tell you, if I'm a witch, you're a witch. If I'm evil, then you evil too, because you just do it, but you put the name, you put your religious connotations on there, which you think it make it spiritually legal. No, it's the same thing. I don't care. Your doctrines don't have any place in the spiritual realm. All that stuff don't even matter when you get over there. Baptist, Pentecostal, none of that stuff matters. What matters is how your spiritual growth look, how you ranking in the spiritual realm. And it ain't by telling people what to do or trying to put people down or tell them they're gonna go to hell or the devil is after them. That ain't gonna get it. Okay? It just ain't gonna get it. And so the first thing we have to do is look at that Bible from, again, the way our ancestors looked at it is us, this the mysteries that's in there. And I have to say this because the ancestors been saying, you've been saying occult, occult, occult. We don't do occult over here. We work in the mysteries. And I said, okay, I'm gonna say it like that, ancestors. They've been telling me not to say that. We work in the mysteries of the magic. That's why a lot of it is closed and it's sacred. Again, because when you understand the mysteries that's in that Bible, because it's mysteries in there. When you understand those mysteries, you tap into the real magic. And so we look at the Bible that way. Well, we're not even worried about their story, you know, eh, to that point like that, where is it actually true? What is the meaning behind the story you telling me? That's more importantly. What is the meaning behind the story you telling me? Why is this character there? What is this character? And you see that with the kind of the way we look at things, when we look at the Orisha, when we look at the what they call them, the Patakis. I'm probably saying that wrong. The Patakas. When they look at those things, we look at these stories and these that is tied to the Orisha, that is tied to some of these deities. It's a deeper meaning behind it to help us understand the workings of the mysteries in it. Okay, just like this story with Jesus. Everybody talk about what Jesus do. They got you so focused on what the man did, and they miss. They don't even talk about the fact that man say even you would do greater things, and y'all missed it. And y'all don't even do what the man do. That was the whole meaning behind him coming here. That's the mystery behind him coming here. He's letting you know that you are the great conjuring root workers just like me. You're not supposed to be worshiping me. You're supposed to be doing what I do. But you're not. You're not doing it. You're not doing it. You're not doing it. You're putting yourself behind because you're doing idol worship and you're following men and not the Christ that's within you. Christ is within you, your higher consciousness, the Christ consciousness, the divine you that's always in communication with God, even when you sleep. I know within my heart, beat mind, body, and soul that I am on the spiritual path. And again, thank you for the blessings live chat line. You're welcome. Okay, so we're looking at what that man did, and we said, what did he do? What did he do? What did he do? He turned the water around. Well, I can do that too. Let's see how he just did that too. He was working in some type of magic. Again, we look at Moses. Moses working with these elements. He's working with the element of fire. I mean, the element of fire. He's the fire in the bush. So he working with the fire gods. He's working with the element of fire. He's working with the element of water. He know water magic. He done parted the sea, honey. Jesus know water magic. He was dealing with water spirits. He walking on water, y'all. This is how we see that. Okay, we break this down so you can understand these elements because that's how hoodoo was built. When them folks start talking about water magic and earth magic and fire magic, our ancestors instantly knew because they worked with nature. They had a spiritual relationship with nature, so they were seeing that. Okay, these people didn't even understand what they was doing with this. They trying to brainwash us with it, and here we is trying to get some power, put some power in it. Okay, and our ancestors put power with it because we understood the elements of nature, the magic of nature, the power of nature. Notice Moses, he's always dealing with these natural elements. Okay, even when we're gonna break all this down when you get over there, we're gonna talk about these crystals because you're gonna get a chance to see it from another perspective because you're gonna see that magic in that Bible. You're gonna see the mysteries in there, and you're gonna be like, oh my God, it was in my face all the time. All the time, it's been in your face. Honey, they got you focused on something else with these doctrines, who hooping and hollering at you and telling you gonna go to hell, and you done missed the whole message, honey. You done had all this power in your hand, these mysteries, and didn't even know it. Okay, much appreciated, enlightened knowledge, a blessing to you. Thank you, Lamar Curtis. So again, we're gonna learn, and if you're scared of a spirit and you believe all this Hollywood junk and stuff and poltergeist, paranormal stuff, and you scared of a spirit, don't come into hoodoo. Cause you gonna work with a spirit. I just don't see no way around it. I don't see how you don't see that. I'm sorry these people are showing you this stuff and not showing you the real magical elements to the work. But again, you working with a spirit. Anytime you pick up something in hoodoo, is you coming in contact with a spirit. We conjure over here. We do sorcery, whatever they want to call it, sorcery. We do necromancy. We do that over here. This is what's popping off over here. That's what gets things jumping. Spirit move things over here. So if you want some fake or whatever, you want some Disney World type magic or whatever, then you stay over there. But this ain't no Disney type of magic. This is the real thing over here. And we do work over here. If you ain't willing to get up and do the work and work with your ancestors and stuff, then you ain't gonna see no results. Because we do work over here. And people say it's magic. It's a science over here because of what the work I gotta do to see stuff come on this physical world. I'm working over there in the astral world for it to get over here. So no, 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 no. Is it magic? Is it really magic? Or is there an application to getting this done? Okay. So again, we break it on down. Like I said, if you're new to all this and you want a good start, you want something to work from, I do recommend the Hoodoo Spiritual Blueprint. It's helped others to get started on their journey. It's very beneficial. Um, we're getting ready to dive more into astrology. If you're into astrology, this is going to be very exciting for a lot of people over there that have their Hoodoo spiritual blueprint chart. But it's going to be very informative the way we break down astrology and kind of helping you find out how to tell what's going on in your chart. and you have plenty of resources, and I break everything down to a lecture. I don't just give you resources and not talk about it. There's usually a lecture. If you're in our highest tier, our ritual conjurer of the know thyself, you're going to get a lecture with all resources. I just do that. I just have to be thorough like that. The ancestors just have me like that. I don't half do nothing. They don't. I can't do it that way. They don't want me doing it that way. And so I provide as much disclosure as possible to help you gain the confidence and security you need on your journey. Because there's not. You need to be clear about everything. You need to be wondering about anything. God is not the author of confusion. You should not be confused. Should know what's going on. And if you come to me confused, I'm gonna get the prime and we're gonna pin that thing down and find out what's going on with it. Okay. Uh, Now I've kept many of you for a minute now, and I've covered a lot of things, especially when it comes to shadow work and inner child healing. I thought that was imperative to talk about because not a lot of practitioners are talking about that, and people is jumping in here and they think they're just not cut out to do the work, do the magic and all that. No, baby, there's nothing wrong with you. You just need to get somewhere and sit down and heal and start working on yourself, using that magic to work on yourself before you start reaching out. We need to get you in alignment, and that's what's needed. You need to show up for yourself and love on yourself first, do and find out, is this something that you really want to do? And sometimes it can be stuck in the subconscious of our mind. It's not up there in the front. It's not till we start working on ourselves we realize we had this false belief there that was stuck there. And you're not going to see that until you start diving deep. And a lot of people don't like that. They don't want to dive deep. We got such a superficial world, We just, and I hate saying, I don't even like saying it, but some of us just like fake shit. We love us, and we don't like nothing real. Some of us don't like nothing real. If it don't, we love egotistical stuff. We love things to feed our ego. We don't want nothing real. And some people that don't like that. They don't want nothing real. They want everything fake. They want something that's gonna cater to their ego. They want to be entertained. I see it. Okay, we got a lot of people like that. And my mission is to reach people who truly want to learn, who can sit down with themselves, who want to uh have hoodoo as a lifestyle, because it's a lifestyle. It's not nothing that you pick up overnight and start doing. It's the way you live. Because if you ain't on the right side of things, some of these spirits ain't gonna be messing with you. And that's the deal. Now these spirits ain't gonna be wanting to work with you if you regular like that. I'm telling you, it's ain't only so far you gonna come. Especially when your frequency is low. You're gonna be working with some lower energies, and I don't know how this gonna turn out for you. But the mind has to be operating at a high frequency if you want to see the kind of changes you want. You have to be working towards that. And it is an initiation process. You'll see breakthroughs every time you go in and start removing these things that's block your mind like that. You're gonna see more and more improvements in your magic. You're gonna be able to manifest and create better and better magic. That's just how it works. Okay, you'll get better and better at it, and you'll want to do the shadow work because you'll be like, "Damn, what's gonna happen next?" Sometimes doing shadow work and inner child works fix your life. It don't be nothing wrong with your life. Is you just be out of alignment. As soon as you get in alignment, everything start falling into place. It'll trip you out. It trips some people out. They be like, "Oh my God, on now I got to figure out what kind of work I want to do because everything is just lining up." Because yeah, you got serious with your life. You start showing up for yourself. You start loving yourself. You start putting yourself first. You start focusing your mind on positivity. You start making declarations and affirmations to yourself and standing in your power, and it start fixing your life. You start getting real with yourself, showing up for yourself, and and now your authenticity is shining through, and now things are lining up for you. That's how it works. Sometimes it'll happen. Sometimes now you got to sit down and figure out, okay, now what kind of magic do I want to do? What do I want to fix? You find yourself trying to come up with something, doing asking your ancestors what kind of things you need to work on. You won't be doing magic as often because you'll be your self-awareness will be better. You're more focused. You're not letting no any type of thing come in your mind. You entertain it. Okay. Your words will become more powerful. I'm just saying it's the byproduct of it. Okay. Does anyone have any questions for me? I know I've kept you a while. I want to keep you any longer. Um, any questions for me? And that was a good question too, Lady Ra. That was a good question because you can look at that Bible from so many different perspectives and so many, and it means different things to different people. So I try to stay on the mystery side of it, the way our ancestors looked at the conjure side, without all the dogma and religiosity in it. I try to not, and again, just stick to the mysteries of it and how we use it as a grimoire. That keeps it powerful, and then stops us from getting confused about some things. Any questions for me? Anything that you want to know? And again, if you're interested in astrology, we're getting ready to break that down and talk about astrology more. Some people base their work on astrology, so they want to know more about those energies. We're doing that. But they just want to look at their natal chart and see what's going on. So we're definitely in there. We're covering that extensively. So you get a lot of resources and lectures on that. And then next month we're going straight into hoodoo, looking at all the elements and why we are leaving things at trees. Why do we use water? Why do we use dirt? Why do we use air and fire? How these elements play out in our work. So we're breaking it all down and helping you understand the sacredness of hoodoo. So you'll get the full scope. And of course, it's Hoodoo Heritage Month. We will be talking about our beautiful hoodoo icons and pioneers who paved the way for us. Okay. Any questions anyone have here? Any questions? No questions? Nobody have any questions? Okay, well, I'll be coming back here in a few days, and we'll be talking about astrology. That's going to be very interesting to give you more insight on how astrology plays in your chart. And so we'll go into that more in more details because I think over there I always try to give them enough time to review the information before I start having discussions. So they'll get over there on our platform, they'll get a full breakdown, and I try to come here and share some of the things I share there on the platform. You won't get everything, but you'll get a general discussion. But all the juicy stuff again is in our community, so they get a chance to see it first, absorb it, and comprehend it, and then I'll come here and try to share as much as I can because I'm kind of limited in how I can share here, share some of the things with you guys. But we always have some good stuff going on there. We don't talk about just about spells. We talk about the foundation of hoodoo because again, the ancestors want you to have a strong rooted practice and that you understand it. Okay, and so that's how I provide it to you. Even when over some things I go over twice if I need to. I've did some things like that. Even when it came to this ancestral veneration, I went right back into spiritual communication again. You just can't, you saying you ain't getting nothing. Are you communicating? Is your mind ready for communication? So we had to really break that down and help people understand how spiritual communication works. You can either use your mind, you can use your tarot cards, um, you can use pendulums, dowsing rods. I mean, it's a variety of things we have went over there to help you communicate with your ancestors. Okay. All right. So, all right. Well, thank you guys for being here. Um, if you need anything, you want that hoodoo spiritual blueprint, go ahead and DM me. That service is only $15. Um, I need your time, your date, your place of birth. Make sure you give me that. Make sure you give me that. And then I'll get you out an invoice email you out an invoice, and when that's completed, I'll get started on it. But don't forget to give me, because there's sometimes they hang me up. People give me their they place, I mean, their time and their date of birth, and I don't get that place. And that place, it hangs me up because I have to reach out to you and try to get it for you, so you can get the most accurate feedback as possible on your blueprint. So make sure you're putting that in there, okay? All right, you guys. I love you guys. You guys take care. You have a great day, and I'll be back soon. And the next topic will be about astrology. Okay, I've said goodbye to my TikTok family. I don't know what this is, honey. They're always doing something new on this thing. Um, and so I'll be back to talk to you guys soon. And next topic we'll be talking about is astrology, because that's what we're covering now. All right. See you soon.